What if the greatest opponent you will ever face isn't out there in the world, but staring back at you every morning? What if real success has nothing to do with beating others, and everything to do with beating who you were yesterday? And what if the life you want isn't built overnight, but shaped quietly, one decision at a time? In this vast world, full of complexity and constant pressure, the most important competition you will ever face is the one in the mirror. It is not about outdoing your neighbor, your coworker, or someone you follow online. It is about outgrowing the person you were yesterday. Personal development is not a destination you arrive at. It is a journey you live every day. On that journey, you are both the traveler and the road. You are the sculptor and the stone. You are the farmer and the field. Each day gives you a chance to chip away at imperfections, to plant seeds of growth, and to take one small step toward the person you want to become. Now, some of you may be thinking, that sounds inspiring, but how do I actually do it? How do I become better than yesterday? That is a fair question. It starts with having a clear vision of who you want to become. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Ask yourself what your best self looks like. What habits does that person practice? What skills do they develop? What kind of impact do they have on the people around them? Paint that picture in your mind with as much detail as possible. Make it feel real. And understand this. That vision will evolve as you grow. Your standards will rise. Your understanding will deepen. That is not a problem. That is progress. Once you have that vision, the next step is to break it down into action. Your best self is not built in a day. It is built one brick at a time. So ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today to move closer to that vision? Identify it and do it. Here is where most people fall off. Consistency. Success is not created by occasional bursts of effort. It is created by small actions repeated daily. The choices you make every day may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time, they compound into massive change. And this is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It is what moves you forward when motivation fades. Like a muscle, the more you use discipline, the stronger it becomes. You do not build it by doing big things once. You build it by doing small things, again and again. And that is where real change begins. It starts with keeping promises to yourself. You set an alarm for 6 in the morning, and you get up when it rings, even when you do not have to. You decide to work out 3 times this week, and you follow through, even when you feel tired. You commit to reading for 30 minutes a day, and you do it, even on long days. These may look like small actions, but they are not small at all. They are the building blocks of your character. They form the foundation of the habits that eventually transform your life. Now, there is something crucial we need to talk about on this journey of self-improvement. Failure. Yes, failure. It is not a dirty word. In fact, it is one of your greatest teachers. As you work to become better than yesterday, you will stumble. You will fall. There will be days when it feels like you are moving backward instead of forward. That is not a sign you are failing. That is part of the process. What matters is how you respond. Do you let failure define you, or do you let it teach you? Instead of seeing failure as a judgment, start seeing it as feedback. It is not a reflection of your worth. It is information. It shows you what does not work and moves you closer to what does. Every setback, every disappointment, every missed expectation carries a lesson. Each one is an opportunity to grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable than before. Now let us talk about your environment. The people you spend time with shape you more than you may realize. Take an honest look around. Are you surrounded by people who challenge you to grow, or by those who are comfortable staying average? If negativity and complacency dominate your surroundings, it may be time for a change. This does not mean cutting people out of your life. It means being intentional. Limit your exposure to influences that pull you down, and seek out those that lift you up. Find mentors. Learn from people who are already where you want to be. Read their books. Listen to their conversations. Immerse yourself in the kind of thinking and behavior you want to develop. And above all, become a lifelong learner. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. If you are growing, you are living. And if you are not growing, you are slowly falling behind. It really is that simple. Make a commitment to learn something new every day. It does not have to be something big. It could be a new word, a new skill, or a fresh perspective on something you thought you already understood. Whatever it is, go looking for it. Stay curious. Ask questions. Challenge your own assumptions. Remember, Knowledge by itself is only potential power. It becomes valuable only when you apply it. Do not just collect information. Use what you learn. Test it. Pay attention to what works for you and what does not. That is how learning turns into real progress. Now let us talk about goals. Goals are the compass on this journey of self-improvement. They give you direction. They give you purpose. They give you something meaningful to work toward. But goals only work when they are clear. Vague goals lead to vague results. Instead of saying you want to be healthier, define what that actually means. Instead of saying you want more success, be specific about what success looks like to you. Write your goals down. Putting them on paper makes them real. Place them somewhere you will see them every day, so they quietly remind you of what you are building. At the same time, understand that goals are not permanent. As you grow, your goals may need to change. That is not failure. That is growth. What matters is that you keep moving forward, always aiming to be better than you were yesterday. There is one more piece that often gets ignored in self-improvement, and that is rest and recovery. Becoming better does not mean pushing yourself until you are exhausted. It does not mean sacrificing your health or relationships in the name of progress. Real growth requires balance. Your body and mind need time to recharge, to process, and to absorb what you have learned. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make room for relaxation. Spend time with the people who matter to you. These are not distractions. They are part of the process. Think of it this way. If you push a machine at full speed nonstop, it will eventually break down. But if you maintain it and allow it to recover, it performs better and lasts longer. The same principle applies to you. Now, let us turn to something that quietly strengthens every step of this journey. Gratitude. Trust me, this part matters more than most people realize. It is easy to become so focused on where you want to be that you forget to appreciate how far you have already come. That is where gratitude comes in. Take time each day to reflect on what you are grateful for. It might be something big, like your health or your family. It might be something small, like a quiet morning, a good cup of coffee, or a moment of calm at the end of the day. This simple practice does two powerful things. First, it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. When you operate from a sense of abundance instead of scarcity, growth becomes easier and more natural. Second, gratitude helps you recognize your progress. On a journey of self-improvement, it is easy to only see how far you still need to go. But noticing how far you have come can be deeply motivating. Now, there is another challenge many people face on this journey, and that is comparison. In a world driven by social media and constant connection, comparing yourself to others has become almost automatic. But it is also dangerous. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Your path is different. Your challenges are different. Your strengths and weaknesses are different. So why measure yourself by someone else's standards? When comparison creeps in, remind yourself that every success story you see hides countless hours of effort, failure, and struggle you never witness. You are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, last month, last year. That is the only comparison that moves you forward instead of holding you back. Now let us talk about habits. Your life today is largely the result of what you do repeatedly. Your health, your mindset, your level of success, all of it reflects your habits. What you practice daily shapes who you become. The encouraging part is this. Just as habits are formed through repetition, they can also be changed through repetition. If you want to be better than you were yesterday, focus on your habits. Identify the ones that hold you back, and begin replacing them with habits that move you forward. Remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your daily habits are those systems. Start small. If you want to read more, begin with a few minutes a day. Small changes, repeated consistently, create powerful transformation over time. If you want to read more, start with just 10 pages a day. If you want to get in shape, begin with 10 minutes of movement. If you want to eat healthier, add 1 serving of vegetables to your meals each day. These changes may seem small, almost insignificant, but remember the power of compound growth. Small habits, repeated daily, create massive change over time. Now let us talk about something absolutely critical on this journey, self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself shape your ability to grow more than you may realize. Your mind believes what you tell it. If you constantly repeat that you are not good enough, that you cannot improve, your mind accepts that story and turns it into reality. But the opposite is also true. When you speak to yourself with encouragement, when you remind yourself of your strengths and your capacity to grow, your mind moves in that direction. So pay attention to how you talk to yourself. When negative thoughts appear, challenge them. Replace, "I can't do this," with "I can't do this yet." Replace, "I'm not good enough," with "I'm improving every day." This is not about pretending you have no weaknesses. It is about approaching growth with possibility instead of limitation. It is about becoming your own strongest supporter instead of your harshest critic. Now let us talk about action. Knowledge without action is wasted potential. You can read every book, attend every seminar, and listen to every message, but without action, nothing changes. Many people get stuck planning, preparing, and waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is simple. There is no perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel completely ready. You never will. Start before you feel ready. Take imperfect action, because imperfect action always beats perfect inaction. You do not need to see the entire path to take the first step. Take that step, then the next, and before you know it, you will be further than you ever imagined. Finally, there is one more quality that matters deeply on this journey: patience. In a world driven by instant results, it is easy to expect change to happen overnight. But real, lasting growth takes time. You cannot transform your body, master a skill, or build something meaningful in a single day. Slow progress is still progress. In fact, steady progress is often the kind that lasts. When you learn to respect the process, you give yourself the space to grow without giving up too soon. Real change takes time, so be patient with yourself. Learn to celebrate the small victories along the way. Every step forward, no matter how small it seems, is moving you closer to your goals. Trust the process. Trust that if you continue to show up and keep doing the work, the results will follow. Now let us talk about the power of reflection. In busy lives, it is easy to get caught in the daily grind and forget to pause. But reflection is a vital part of growth. Set aside time regularly, maybe at the end of each day or each week, to look back on your journey. Ask yourself what worked, what did not, what you learned, and how you have grown. Then ask what you can do differently moving forward. This habit of reflection serves an important purpose. It helps you recognize progress, which can be deeply motivating. It helps you see where adjustments are needed, and it helps you stay aligned with your goals and values. Remember, the goal is not to stay busy. The goal is to move in the right direction. Reflection keeps you honest about whether your actions are truly leading you where you want to go. There is one more essential part of becoming better than you were yesterday, and that is self-care. You cannot give your best when you are running on empty. If you neglect yourself, you lose energy, focus, and resilience. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. Taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health allows you to show up with clarity and strength. When you care for yourself, you give yourself the ability to keep growing, improving, and moving forward with consistency. Taking care of yourself is not just for your own benefit, but for everyone around you. It means getting enough sleep, eating nourishing food, and moving your body regularly. It means knowing when to take a break, setting healthy boundaries, and making time for things that bring you joy and fulfillment. Remember, this is a long game. Growth is not about burning yourself out for quick results. It is about building habits that support you steadily over time. Now let us talk about mindset. Your mindset works like the operating system of your mind. It shapes how you interpret challenges and respond to life. When it comes to self-improvement, mindset is everything. What you want to develop is a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities can expand through effort, learning, and persistence. With a growth mindset, you lean into challenges instead of avoiding them. You keep going when setbacks appear. You understand that effort is the path to mastery, not a waste of energy. You learn from feedback instead of resisting it, and you find motivation in the success of others rather than feeling threatened. This mindset opens the door to continuous growth and allows you to become better than you were yesterday. As we bring this message together, remember that becoming better than yesterday is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about moving forward, even when the steps feel small or slow. You are not competing with anyone else. You are competing with who you were yesterday, and every day you make even a little progress, you are winning. This journey will not always be easy. There will be moments of frustration, doubt, and temptation to give up. But those moments are not signs to stop. They are part of the process that makes you stronger, more resilient, and more capable. Embrace the journey. Embrace the challenges. Wake up each day with the intention to be just a little better than the day before. Small improvements, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results over time. You already have everything within you to become the best version of yourself. It all begins with one decision, the decision to commit to your growth and choose improvement. So start today, take that first step, and then keep stepping forward, because it is always you versus you. I wish you good health, happiness, and peace on your journey, and do not forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more inspiration and growth.